Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another week of daily spinning the wheel. And so if you are new to my channel and you don't know, I put a bunch of my cross stitch projects onto a app which has a wheel. You spin the wheel and every day I will be picking a different project to work on for the day. I will also in the background be doing stitching on my chart Autumn Harmony, which is by Maxine Gadd, and then at the end of the week I will show my progress on this because I have a big goal on her to try and get her finished next year, so I'm just working on her as much as I can to try and get her close to being finished. So, spinning the wheel. Over the weekend, I did spinning the wheel a lot. I spun the wheel every 500 stitches on a project, or 250 if it was a full cross project, but almost every project that was picked was a half cross, so I was doing it basically every 500 stitches. And doing that, I was able to take one project off the wheel, which I was excited about. I think I might replace that project with a different project now, and I think I might replace it with where is it? I was going to replace it with, I think, Rose Library from Unconventional Cross Stitch. So I need to figure out which one was I finished. I finished Rainbow Basin. So I'm going to take that one off of my wheel and replace it with Rose Library because I would like to work on that sometime this month. So we will save that in the wheel. And here we go. We are going to spin the wheel, pick my project for today so I can get to stitching. And we got Little Gamer, which was the last project I worked on when I was doing my weekend videos. So here is where I am on Little Gamer. This is artwork by Medusa Dollmaker, charted by Gecko Rouge. You can find this chart now on Medusa Dollmaker's own website, which is, I think, folktalesmarket.com. And here is where I am. And I mentioned that I had parked a lot of stitches from, I was working on Link over the weekend, got him finished, and I was parking the stitches from Link. If there was any of like colors going into Mega Man, I was parking them in Mega Man. I think this is Mega Man. I always have to ask my son, I'm like, is this Mega Man? And he's like, yes, Mom, I'm pretty sure it's Mega Man. So I'll be working on this. I just want to get the parked threads worked in, and there's also parked threads over here to work in. So I'm just going to try and get some of the parked threads worked in, maybe do some background because, you know, there's a lot of it. There's like 20,000 stitches of background to do, so that's what I'll be working on. This is on, I think, a 28 or 25 count 2/1 half cross. I will be back tomorrow to spin the wheel again and to show my progress on Little Gamer. And here is my progress on Little Gamer. I worked in the park threads that were on Mega Man, and then I also went and was filling in some of the background by Link, just because that was an easy area to fill in because it was just, I didn't really have to count because this area here is mostly going to be filled in with the one background color, except for there is a star here, so I did the outline of the star and then can just fill in the background there, which will be easy to do. And I think I did maybe 700-ish stitches on this, and this was on Monday. It is currently Thursday, I think, yeah. And so I had 2 days where I did not stitch, and so I did not come back to spin the wheel. So I am back here. I am stitching today, so I will be spinning the wheel to pick the project that I work on today. And we have Rose Library. I actually am going to need to pause to grab that one because I did not pull it off of my shelf and put it in the bin because it was like a last minute decision to put it on the wheel. So I will go and grab Rose Library real quick. Rose Library is artwork by Ivy Dollamore and charted by Unconventional Cross Stitch. And Unconventional Cross Stitch, I did mention that they had a house fire, their house burned down, and that was where their business was, so they also lost all of their physical business supplies. So I wanted to put this on the wheel so that I could possibly work on it this month in support of them. I also plan on buying a couple charts, but I'm still not sure what charts I want. I think I know. I don't have it narrowed down. There is another chart that is by Ivy Dollamore that I would like called Herbalist Helper, I think. And then there is some other charts that are by other artists. And so I have a lot on my wish list and I'm still trying to narrow it down, but I won't be starting them right away anyway. So it's not a huge deal, but I have things that I want. So here is where I am right now on Rose Library. I am stitching this on 25 count 2/1 half cross, and I will be back tomorrow once I have progress on this chart. It is now Monday the 14th, which means it's been a couple days since I last filmed. I picked Rose Library on Spin the Wheel on Thursday. I worked on it Thursday, I worked on it Saturday, and now here we are and it's Monday, and I did not spin the wheel at all during those 4 days. So I ended up getting almost 1,000 stitches done on it over those 2 days, and I am really loving the way this is all turning out. I love like little like leaves coming up, and then you have like the books. It's great. Love it. I have enjoyed working on it. I almost am sad to spin the wheel, but I also need to work on some of my other projects, so I need to spin the wheel today. So I worked on that. I also worked on a different project on Friday, because Friday I am trying to do Finish It Friday, Focus on a Finish Friday, whatever you want to call it, where I work on one project on Friday and I work on it until it is finished. And I worked on Strawberry Farm, which is by Flossie Fox Shop on Etsy, and it is so close to being finished. So I'll insert the before picture because I did remember to take a picture before I started working on it. And I was just filling in this section over here by the house, and this right here is right around where the bottom of the chart is going to be. So there is not a lot left. All that's left is this bottom section, and there's only 900 stitches left. So I'm really thinking that this coming up weekend, I might just work on this until it's finished. Just keep it out. If it takes me 2 days, if it takes me 3 days, just work on it until it's done, because I really want this one to be finished. And then I can pick a different project to work on for Fridays. So there is Strawberry Farm. This is being stitched on a 14 count pre-printed DMC fabric, 2/1 full cross. So that was all the cross stitching. I did work on knitting, which I can talk about very quickly, is I was making leg warmers for my daughter. I started them in the summer and I never finished them. So yesterday I just was knitting, trying to get these finished. I think I am close to being finished. I think I might do, this one's a little bit longer, so I think I might do one more repeat of like the blue, pink, white, pink, and then go back to blue, and then I'll be done, I think. I'm not really sure how long I want to make them because there's still quite a bit of yarn for each of them. I'm knitting them 2 at a time, and I split the yarn up. I can't find the other yarn ball. So I have 2 different yarn balls, and so there's still quite a bit left. So I can't decide if I want to just keep going and then she could like fold them up or scrunch them down, or if I should just end them. I'm not sure, but I worked on those, and I can link to the pattern that I'm using. I had to change the pattern a little bit though, because it's a free pattern, and the original pattern was for like a 4-year-old leg warmers, and my daughter is 9, so I ended up adding more stitches, I think, but I don't remember how many stitches I added. And then it's just 2/2 rib stitch. So that's it. That's all the pattern is. And now I will spin the wheel to pick the project that I will work on for today. And we have Witcher again. How many times have I worked on him this month? Was it 2 or 3? I do not remember, but I will find Witcher in my basket. So I will get to work on more of the background, because that's what I was doing the last couple times that I worked on him, was working on the background. So there is Witcher. This is from Thread Geeks, and I think this is the large or extra large version. I am not entirely sure. And I will be working just somewhere along the top here of doing the background, because I want to get the background filled in. This is on 25 count 2/1 half cross. I will be back hopefully tomorrow with an update on Witcher, and hopefully I will get back to daily wheel spins this week. I am back, and it is the next day, so I managed to not take a couple day break. I am back on schedule. I did 900 stitches in Witcher last night, and I was just working on filling in more of this corner. I have been kind of working in row by row, so I filled in the top 10 by 10 row in this section, and then I started working on the next one. I kind of stopped around here just because this section was harder to work without running into like the edge of the hoop in the back when you're ending your thread, so I was just working in this little corner and did 900 stitches, so that was great. Now I will spin the wheel to pick my project for today, and I'm hoping for more full coverage, but we will see what I end up getting. And we have Santa's on His Way, which is one that I worked on over the weekend when I was doing all the wheel spins. I will go and grab that real quick. Santa's on His Way is a chart from Charting Creations. I am excited to work on this because it's Christmas and I really want to work on Christmas things. It's only October, but I am definitely someone where I start thinking about Christmas early and I start decorating for Christmas like as soon as Halloween's over. The day after Halloween, I will most likely be decorating for Christmas. So I'm excited to work on this. This is where I am at on it so far. The last time I worked on it, I was working on filling in the trees down here. It's kind of hard to tell because there's threads everywhere, so I'll probably work in this section here again with the trees. And this is on a 28 count, 2/1 half cross, and so I'm excited to get to working on this. I will be back hopefully tomorrow with an update on Santa's on His Way. And here is Santa's on His Way after I think it was like 700-ish stitches last night, and I was just working on filling in more of the trees in this bottom corner. Trees tend to almost always have a lot of color changes and confetti, so it doesn't seem like I got a lot done, but I was just filling in kind of the section because I had a lot of this top portion somewhat filled in before, and then I went through and was filling in like the empty spaces. But yeah, tons of confetti and trees, that's what I have found. I stitched the toy box, which is artwork by Donna Gelsinger, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs a few years ago, and that was before I had Pattern Keeper, and that was like a switch. So I didn't have Pattern Keeper at first. So I remember stitching the trees was a major pain. And then Pattern Keeper came out, I think, right at the end as I was getting close to finishing. And it made a huge difference because you could search for the colors and it was just so much better. Pattern Keeper changed everything. So yeah, trees though are always a pain in the butt to stitch, but I am happy with the progress I got done on those. I really would like to hopefully get them finished maybe this year if I keep putting this project on the wheel and at least get the trees out of the way and have that confetti section done. But that's my progress. It is time for me to spin the wheel, so let's see what my project for today will be. And it is Templar Prophecy, which is by Long Dog Sampler. Templar Prophecy is one of my oldest Long Dog samplers. It is my oldest Long Dog sampler that I have as a whip because right now I have Templar Prophecy and Dragon Hall as like active whips that are Long Dog sampler, but then I also have Pandemic and the Pointed Fifth as like non-active Long Dog samplers. I started them. I am not actively working on them. They're not at all in my rotation. I put them on pause, and then once I finish a Long Dog sampler, then I plan on rotating one of them back in. I actually don't know if I'm going to finish Pandemic just because I'm kind of iffy on that chart. I got it for free during the lockdowns. The chart was offered for free in the Long Dog group, and I don't know if it's necessarily something that I would have purchased and started if I was paying for it, but it was free, so I was like, I'll start it, I have nothing else to do. Anyways, that's not even about Templar Prophecy. Here's Templar Prophecy. I am stitching this on a fabric that I dyed myself, and I'm using DMC 666, and it's a 22 count 1/1 full cross, which 1/1 on 22 count is not my favorite because the fabric can kind of have issues where the floss will slip underneath the fabric threads, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. And it's also kind of hard to get an accurate picture of what this looks like, especially because the sun is out right now. But I am working on this area. That's where I was working earlier this month when this project was picked, so I will most likely keep working in this section. On Long Dogs, I do tend to work kind of page by page, even though this one is in Pattern Keeper, so I could just work anywhere I wanted to, but I do tend to still stick page by page for some reason. I also was really wanting to get the top row finished because I want to get this border that's at the top out of the way. This border is kind of boring. I also had made a mistake in the border at one point, and so I had to rip out like half of this border over here. I had stitched it, it was done completely, and then I had to rip it out, and so it's not fully finished yet. There's still a little bit more of the border I need to take this way, but I hate stitching this border. I also don't love the border going down this side. If I was thinking when I started this chart, I probably would have cut off the top border and this side border and just stitched the inner portion, but I wasn't thinking when I started it. So this is what I'll be working on today. I will be back tomorrow with my spin for tomorrow, and I think that tomorrow will actually be my last clip for this video, and then this video will go onto YouTube. And here is Templar Prophecy after like 200 stitches, maybe, if that. All I did was this area here where you're doing stitches that make the outline of a dragon, and that's all I did. It was literally 2 strands of the DMC 666, and then I quit, which I was just happy that I even did the 2 strands because I almost did not work on this at all because I have been wanting to play video games more, and so because I haven't played video games in a while, like I've taken a break, I haven't played, I've been mostly just like stitching, reading, and things like that. So I was like, I want to play a game, and so I started playing Hyrule Warriors, which is it's a Zelda themed game, but it's a Warriors style game, so it's not your typical Zelda like puzzly adventure game. You are playing a game and it's Warrior style, which means that you're like button mashing basically. If you haven't played like Dynasty Warriors or Fire Emblem Warriors, those are all similar types of games. And like there's just like hordes of enemies on a map and you have objectives of like go to this place and do this, and then you're just trying to like fight the enemies that are on the map. So they're really fun games, they're really easy. So I started playing that, and then my son was like, you should try playing Dark Souls, and so I started that, which Dark Souls is not fun. It's not fun, but I'm going to keep trying to play it because just to see if I can. So I did like 200 stitches on that, and now I will show Autumn Harmony because this is going to be the last clip for this video. So I will insert the picture of where she was the last time you saw it, which was like a week and a half ago, I think, because this video has went on longer than I thought it would because I haven't stitched as much in the last week. And here is Autumn Harmony now. I am behind on my stitching for her this month. I was working more on filling in this area here, which is like, this is like her hair, and there's going to be like the part of her hair here, I think, and just filling in all this. I got more of like the leaves filled in over here, and yeah, so I'm just still filling in, but I'm behind. I think I'm only at like 2,000 stitches on her so far this month. And because it's like the halfway point of the month, I should technically be at 2,500 if I want to do my 5,000 stitches this month. So I do need to do more on her to try and get myself caught up. And she is stitched on 18 count 2 over 1 full cross. That is all for stitching. I am going to spin the wheel to pick my project that I'll work on tonight, but I won't be showing the progress on that until my next video. So if you want to see the progress on that, you can come back to my next video. And so let me get the wheel open. And I really don't care what it is. Like, I don't care if it's full coverage or if it's not. And we have the Haid Stitch Along for the first time this month, which is good because I would like to get the 4-page finish on the Haid Stitch Along, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So here is the Haid Stitch Along. And if you aren't aware, the Haid Stitch Along was something that you would join at the end of last year. So I think it was in December they put out a thing about it, and so you could buy the chart in December. And the way it worked is they had 10 charts. You picked the chart that you wanted to stitch. You joined a Facebook group where everything is run, and then every quarter you would get a piece of the chart, and then at the end of the year, if you fully finish the chart, you get 2 free charts, and if you finish 4 pages on the chart, then you get all the other charts that were offered out of the 10. I picked Merry Mushroom Village Picnic number 3, which is artwork by Amy Stewart. This chart, the small portion of it, is not available on its own, but you can find a full-size chart of this on the Haid website, which is called Merry Mushroom Village Picnic by Amy Stewart. And I love this artwork. I would like to get the 4-page finish because I really like the other mushroom charts. Like the rainbow one is so pretty. People have finished the rainbow one and it's gorgeous. So I am stitching this on 28 count 2 over 1 tent stitch. And then I was also going to mention that I'm pretty sure that they are doing another Haid Stitch Along for next year. So if you missed out on this stitch along and you would like to join in December, start checking the Haid like Instagram or just check on their website and see if they have it up then. I don't think I will be joining because I'm not doing new starts, plus I didn't even get this one finished like I wanted to. But if you were disappointed that you missed out, check at the end of the year and see if they have it. And I think you had to join by like December 29th, I think, or the 30th, so that they could have everyone's emails and be like ready for it to happen on the 1st. Actually, it was the 31st because they always send the charts a little bit early, like a little surprise. So I will be working on that tonight. And I think that is all for cross stitch. And then I was going to talk about books and possibly TV shows, but I think my plan is that I am going to insert a stitch with me. So somewhere right around here, there should be a video of me stitching going in so that you don't have to just stare at my face talking about the things that I did that kept me busy and not stitching. So the first thing that kept me not stitching this week is I had like a day and a half / 2 days where there was kind of like a water issue with my shower. So it started off that I had a leaky faucet and maintenance came out and fixed that. But when they left, I did not realize it right away. But I went to take a shower and the water was not getting hot. So I was just like, great. And it was the only faucet that was affected, was the one that they had worked on. All the other ones had hot water. So I knew it wasn't the water heater, it was something else. And so I did some Googling and found out that there's like a little thing underneath the faucet handle that if you take the handle off, you can adjust how hot the water will get. But then I did not have the proper tools to get the handle off. So it was like at night when I realized it, and all the hardware stores were closed in my area. So like everything here closes at like 6 because it's like a small town. And so I didn't really have any options to fix it that night. So I had to wait until the next day. And then I went to the hardware store and I got the tools that people were saying were like the common ones to get, and none of them were working. They were too big and too small and not the right size. So I ended up having to ask in my like family group chat, like, what do I do? And then my sister found a thing where someone had asked on the internet about what tool to use to get the faucet handle off. And I finally found the right one. It just took a while. And so that was like a day and a half of just like Googling, going to the hardware store, and then trying to fix the thing so I could get my hot water fixed because I needed to take showers and I would like to take hot showers. So that was something that took some time away from stitching because I was just trying to figure out what the problem was. And I did put in a maintenance request about the problem, like that there wasn't hot water, because if I couldn't fix it, I wanted to make sure that they had it, like they were notified so that they would have like their time started of when they have to have it fixed. And during that time of me trying to fix it, I never heard from them. And so then once I fixed it, I was able to just cancel the request and it all turned out fine. And I now have hot water. So there was that. And then after that, I spent like 2 days looking at tablets, which I still have not purchased a tablet, but I really want to get like a Samsung tablet that you can write on. The reason being is that I normally use Happy Planners like the previous years, but this year I did not get a Happy Planner because I wanted to try a digital planner, and I like the idea of it, but currently all I have for it is my phone or my laptop, and my laptop is not a touchscreen, so that's kind of really out of the question for what I want to do. And because I want to be able to actually physically write in the journal as if it's a regular journal, you know? And so I really want a tablet with a touchscreen that has the pen that comes with it so you can write and have it look nice and do all that stuff and have a bigger screen than my phone. So I have spent days looking at tablets because there are so many different tablets out there now. I know I don't want an iPad because I don't have anything else that's Apple, so it doesn't really sync well with my devices. So I was looking at Samsung and also Lenovo because those are kind of like the only big popular options in the US. I know that there's other tablet brands that are like Chinese brands, but they are harder to get here. So I think I'm leaning towards a Samsung, but I'm also waiting because they were on sale for Prime Day, which is why I started looking at them last week. And now they are not all on sale. So one of them is on sale and it's the Samsung S9 FE. And I think that is the one that I'll possibly be getting, but I'm also waiting to see what happens like holiday Black Friday sales, because I know that's a really good time to buy electronics usually because there's usually sales, and then some stores will also have like additional like coupons that will work with the sale. So I am waiting to see what happens, but I did a ton of research because I like to look up reviews and see how people actually liked the different features of the different tablets. And the Samsung one seemed really good in terms of people liking the note-taking apps. A lot of people said that the notes were better on the Samsung than the Lenovo. And so that was something that also took a lot of time away from stitching. And the other thing is books. I was reading The Lost Bookshop. I can't remember the author, but I will insert a picture of the cover of the book. and I got notified from the library that it was due in a couple days and someone was waiting for it, so I ended up spending one night reading and finishing that book. And it was a really good book about like a little kind of magical bookshop. Like, it's light magic. There wasn't a ton of magic, it was just a tiny bit of magic with this bookshop, and it was a really good story about, like, there was a girl who was in the 1920s. There was also a modern timeline of a girl in the modern day and a guy that she meets, and they are like looking for the bookshop, looking for a lost manuscript, and how their stories connect to each other and this bookshop. So it was a great book. I loved it. And then another book that I ended up starting is The Three-Body Problem. I checked that book out at the library, I think at the same time that I got The Lost Bookshop, but no one put it on hold, so I was able to renew it, so I do need to get reading that one so I can finish it before it has to go back. And so far, I am liking the book. The reason I started reading the book is because I watched the show on Netflix. So there is a show on Netflix that's kind of like the American version of Three-Body Problem. And I also found out that there is a Chinese TV show that you can watch on Peacock that is called Three Body. That's like the same story, but it's the Chinese show. And so I really want to also watch that one and see like what their version of the story is, because my brother watched it and he said that it was good, so I really want to watch that. And then also for TV shows, I have not started it yet, but a lot of people in my last video recommended that I should watch Agatha All Along, so I plan on starting that one soon. So I'm gonna have lots of TV shows to watch because there was quite a few recommendations, so I have them written down and I will be able to start watching some TV shows while I stitch. In terms of audiobooks, I finished A Kingdom This Empty and Cursed by Stasia Stark, and I really enjoyed that. It is the second book in the Kingdom of Lies book series, and it was really good. It's full of magic and fairies and all sorts of good stuff, and I really liked it. And I don't want to give it away though, so I'm not going to give too much of the story away because it's the second book, so I don't want to give away anything from like the first book. And then I also finished It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, and that book is the second book after It Ends With Us. So It Ends With Us, you probably have heard about it this year because the movie just came out, and the movie is based on a book by Colleen Hoover, and It Starts With Us is the second book, and I really liked the second book. I actually thought that I probably liked it more than the first book. It was really good, and I really liked the story that they had with the male, because it's going back and forth between like the main character Lily and then a guy named Atlas, and I really liked the story with Atlas in this book, so that was a great book. I listened to it in like a day or two, but it's also pretty short compared to like other magical books that are like 20 hours. This one was only like 8 hours or 9 hours, so it was pretty quick. And a book that I am currently listening to again is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I had previously been listening to it, and then my time with it was up and I did not finish it, so I had to put it on hold again, and it said the hold would be 7 weeks, but it was already ready, so I get to listen to it again, and hopefully this time I actually finish it because I don't want to have to put it on hold again, so I need to keep listening to that. And I think that is all. That is everything that I have done in the last week. I thought that I would put it here just instead of putting it throughout the video so that if people don't want to hear like book TV stuff, they don't have to, but that's it. So that is all that I have for this video. I will be back hopefully next week with another video. I think my plans for this weekend might be different. I don't know if I'm going to spin the wheel. I was thinking about spending this weekend trying to finish Strawberry Farm by Flossie Foxshop, and possibly working on Kita to try and get her closer to being finished because all that's left is the backstitching and the beads. And I think I might work on that because it's a 24 hours of cross stitch weekend, so I might kind of try and just work on those for my 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. But I don't think I'm actually going to count the time because counting the time kind of stresses me out a little bit, and I feel like it almost makes things take longer. Like you're stitching and you think you've been stitching for a long time, and then you check the timer and it's been like 20 minutes and you're like, I feel like I've been doing this for an hour, and it hasn't. So I don't think I'm going to set a timer. I'm just going to try and work on things that I would like to finish. I might also include knitting in that because I really want to finish the leg warmers for my daughter because I haven't worked on those since the last time that I showed them in this video. So I think I might just have this be like a crafty finishing weekend where I just try and focus on things that I would like to get finished. And so that will be my next video. Most likely it's just like, what can I get finished this weekend. So if you would like to see that, then you can come back next video, hopefully, and see what I end up getting finished, and I will see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!